Okay, in this video I'm going to talk a little bit about graphing horizontal and vertical lines, which seem to give some people a little bit of trouble, so it's a little bit tricky, so I want to show you how these work. So, a horizontal line, look at the word horizon. So horizon basically is something that you would see that would go like this, and that's what a horizontal line is, okay? So horizontal, that's how I remember it. I just look at the word horizon and I see that basically it's something that goes this direction. So obviously vertical is something that's exactly the opposite. Vertical lines go like this, okay? Up and down. So that's how you remember the difference between the two. Now, what is actually the equation for each of these types of lines? Okay, so that's what we're going to answer in this particular video, is what is the equation? Let me write this over here. For a horizontal line and a vertical line. Okay, let's try that. Okay, so let's move down here. You might remember this. I'm just going to call this my x and my y axis, okay? Now, one of the things about a horizontal line you might notice is that it has zero slope, right? Because it's flat. Think of yourself as running along a very, very flat surface, okay? Just like along a street or something like that. So there's zero slope there. So I want you to think of the equation, the slope-intercept form. Do you remember that from a previous video? The slope-intercept form of an equation is y is equal to mx plus b, okay? And remember that the slope is the m. So if you have a flat slope or a zero slope, basically what you have is y is equal to 0x plus whatever the b is. And remember that the b is the y-intercept. Okay? Now, in this particular example here, let's just say that the y-intercept is 3, okay? So you're going to get y is equal to 0x plus 3. And again, notice that the 0 slope on this line, right, makes this go away because anything times 0 basically is just 0. So you essentially get y is equal to 3, and that's the clue. That is the equation for a horizontal line. So it's y is equal to 3, or this line right here, it would be y is equal to -1, or this line up here, y is equal to a positive 2. What's tricky about this is we think it's y, and we see the horizontal x-axis, so we think that maybe it's x is equal to 3. No, don't be fooled. Think of the slope-intercept form, plug in 0 for the slope, and then wherever it intersects the y-axis is essentially the equation for that line. Okay? So hopefully that will help. Now let's look at the vertical line in the exact same way. Since vertical lines look something like this, okay? And let's do this 1, 2, 3, and we'll just draw a vertical line. Essentially think of this as just x is equal to 3, because this is where x is 1, 2, 3. So x is 3 right here, okay? Now think of, here's the way I think of this particular problem. What's this coordinate right here? It would be 3 for the x and 0 along the y, right? So that would be 3, 0. Think of this point down here. 1, 2, 3, let's make it 4. So we've got 1, 2, 3 along the x, -4 along the y-axis, right? Let's go up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say that's 5. So you have 3 along the x, right? And 5 along the y. Now notice what is the same in each one of these 3 points, or really any point along this vertical line. it's at x is equal to 3, isn't it? It doesn't make any difference what the y is. X is always 3. So that's how I think of vertical lines. It's the x value that stays the same each time. Okay? Okay, so hopefully that was helpful. Remember that horizontal lines has the word horizon in it, so that's how you remember that that's a horizontal, and vertical is just the opposite. To remember the horizontal line, again, remember y is mx plus b, and you have a flat slope, so we'll call that slope 0. If you cover that up, you just get y is equal to whatever the intercept is, and that's a horizontal line, the equation for horizontal lines. And with x, or vertical lines, remember that you just go to whatever it is. In this case, x was equal to -2. And you'll remember that x is -2 here, x is -2 here, x is -2, basically anywhere all up and down that line, okay, or 3 or whatever your equation might be, but it's x is equal to something. Okay, good luck.